Greetings folks, and I hope you're all happy and healthy wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for a celebration of all things Batman. But before we dive in, I'd like to send a Batcave size shout out to everyone who's supported the channel. And please drop a like on this video as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the 1/6 scale news, views and reviews that we've got coming up. So, since his first appearance in Detective Comics number 27 way back in 1939, Bob Kane's creation has gone on to become one, if not the most popular non-superpowered superhero of all time. Not only in games, TV shows, comics and movies, but in the action figure world as well. So, to celebrate the Caped Crusader, I thought we'd have an up-close look at my favourite 1/6 scale Dark Knight figures from the collection. This is not an exhaustive list, and it's by no means all the Batman figures. It's just those in the collection that are my particular favourites. So, without further ado, let's dive in. So folks, in the tradition of award ceremonies, I thought we'd do this thing in chronological order. So, first up to bat, it's Hot Toys' take on Adam West as Batman from the 1966 TV show and movie. Caped Crusader or Camp Crusader? Let's find out by having a close-up look. We'll start with that base. It's the traditional Hot Toys oval, which they use with all their figures around this time. I think this figure was released back in 2014, so yeah, pretty much standard at that point in time. You've got that Batman logo in the center there. It says classic TV series Batman on the front in that little nameplate. The boots themselves, really nicely sculpted. No split cut boot design here, but it's 2014. Colours on point, crease works nice, paint works nice. As with the entire outfit, the screen accuracy is just nailed on here. We'll pull out and just take him in all his glory. That suit, that undersuit, the perfect shade of light blue there. Those satin pants, those oversized satin pants, perfect. That utility belt, that bold yellow with the gold coloured buckle on there, once again screen accurate. Proportions are nailed on. The scale of this figure, the articulation, it's all there. It's just all there from Hot Toys. They got it right in just about every department here. If there was any minor complaint, I would say, well, it's not really a complaint, it's just something to be cautious of, is this suit, this light blue undersuit. The weave is so fine and so thin that if you've got any spurs on the skin on your fingers, or any cracked fingernails or anything like that, it is prone to pull. So if you are picking this figure up, or you do have it, handle it with caution, because the last thing you want is a pull in this fine weave, because it really does throw off the figure as a whole. But yeah, really nicely tailored and excellent work for the time here. Still stands up today in my opinion. This cape, drape cape, but a beautiful deep blue, which is screen accurate. It's got this lovely satiny feel. It's got those huge cutouts, which are synonymous with the 66 Batman, and it just falls really well and fits really well. Maybe that clasp there at the neck is a little bit on the ugly side, but that's a minor niggle, especially when it is a prelude to this incredible head sculpt. And for a 2014 figure, I think this still stands up today. It still looks like it's just come off the factory floor, fresh out the box. That is unmistakably Adam West. A fantastic head sculpt there. Superb skin tones and textures on that sculpt, and paint applications are wonderful. Really a little bit ahead of its time, I think, this piece, and it still holds up today. That cowl, let's spin him round and take a look at that cowl. That cowl is absolutely on point. The deep blue, which sort of matches the cape but without the shine. Those ears on point, even down to the sculpted stitch work in the cowl. That matte black front section with the paint applications on the nose and the eyebrows, just all there. Super glassy eyes, and still, I think, a phenomenal piece today. And still a grail piece, copied by Saturn Toys with their unlicensed dynamic duo. I think Saturn Toys actually became Mars Toys, unless I'm very much mistaken. Please correct me in the comment section below if I am. But Mars Toys have been absolutely knocking it out of the park with their unlicensed 1/6 scale Batman figures from 66, and well, from the entire Batman universe, to be honest with you. But there you have it, folks. That's the first of our Batman figures, and I've got to say, it's a grail, it's a classic. Yeah, it's Hot Toys 66 Batman. So moving swiftly onward. So jumping forward to 1989, we have another offering from Hot Toys. This time it's from Tim Burton's 89 reboot, the classic that is Batman, 89 Batman. This is not the 2.0 version. This is not the multiple variations there have been of this figure. This is actually the original DX09 as it came out of the box. We will take a quick look around him, and what a masterful piece of cinema Tim Burton's Batman was. What a legacy it's left us. We'll take a quick look at this base. Now, this base, it makes me laugh because, I mean, Hot Toys have just won't let up with this base. It was great in its time, it was, but Hot Toys keep repurposing it, and but, you know, it is what it is. It's a really, really nice base there. You've got that Batman logo in yellow in the center there. It's got that light up feature with the two LEDs at either side, which they stopped actually using the function for some odd reason in the repurposed bases. But yeah, it keeps getting reused. I suppose Hot Toys are firm believers, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, keep reusing it. But yeah, things can get a bit tired, but it is what it is. But moving on to the figure itself, and we'll get the elephant out of the room, out of the way straight away. It's this cape. I have never got round to replacing this cape. This is how it came originally out of the box way back in the day there, and it's always been on my list of things to do, and I have never quite got round to it. It's probably the only thing that lets this figure down is this cape. It is it's a bit of a nightmare. It's a bit of a ball ache, this one. The material itself is an unusual material. It's not pleather, I don't think, or it may very well be pleather. It feels more like a material, but it's got that look and feel of pleather. It's wired, but the wires are super thin, and the fall isn't great, and really you can spend hours futzing around with this cape trying to get it to do what you want it to do, and it won't behave. So yeah, downsides of this cape, we'll try and get it out of the way. However, the plus sides with the figure itself, proportions absolutely nailed on. That suit is superb, and I haven't gone for the 2.0 version of this simply because I don't think the suit is quite as authentic on the 2.0 version. It's a lot rougher looking than this. Now this has that rough quality which the original suit did have in the film. But I think they've overcooked it on the newer version, but I think this is still a phenomenal piece today. The proportions absolutely nailed on. Articulation isn't brilliant, but that's the nature of this suit, and it is what it is. You can barely move that head. That cowl is super difficult to work with, but I think that was inevitable. That bat symbol in the chest area that's attached to the cowl, really nicely done. Utility belt, very, very well done. And absolutely on point and screen accurate. The accessories that come with this figure are really amazing. You've got everything you could ever want with a Batman figure. You've got grapple guns, you've got batarangs, you've got so much stuff to go at. Really, the accessories are fantastic, as are the choice of hands. The hands themselves really nicely done. Sculpting absolutely on point. Screen accuracy is there, and that head sculpt, the icing on the cake. I think it still stands up today, and there's so much debate in the 6-scale world about Keaton head sculpts and which one's the best, and Batman Returns is the better figure, and I don't own the Returns figure. It's something I've always meant to pick up and have in the collection. I suppose I'll hang on for yet another iteration of that, but I think this one still holds its own today. Those interchangeable mouth plates I think are fantastic. The eyes are super glassy, unmistakably Keaton from any angle here, and just overall for its time I think this still holds up today. As I say, only thing possibly that lets it down is that cape, but I will get round to replacing that at some point. So there you have it, folks. That's another Hot Toys and another grail in the making, if not already a grail. That's Hot Toys' take on Michael Keaton from Tim Burton's 89 masterpiece. And on to 1995 and that car crash of a movie that was Batman Forever, directed by Joel Schumacher. A divisive one, this to say the least. But we're here to look at the figure, not judge the film. And it's Val Kilmer's take on Batman. And a moment's silence here, I think, for Val Kilmer, who died recently. I think a tragic loss to the cinema world. A greatly underappreciated actor who turned in some fantastic performances. So yeah, a sad day for everyone with the loss of Mr. Kilmer. But let's take a look at this figure and what Hot Toys have offered us here. And as I say, a bit of a car crash of a film. I still can't get my head around the film in particular. However, it did turn in some great performances. A fantastic performance by Mr. Kilmer as Batman, a superb performance by Jim Carrey as the Riddler. However, they got lost a little bit in, shall we say, bad writing and uneven direction, and that's putting it politely. But yeah, the base itself, and we see here Hot Toys repurposing that same base again. At least what they've done here is given us a different design on the top here with that large question mark. It's super high gloss, this base, really nice. And it's that Riddler question mark with the Bat logo in the middle there, the Bat symbol in the middle. No light up feature on this, although they keep including it on the bases. But yeah, very nice base indeed, even though it is repurposed. This suit, now it's the Sonar suit version, this one, which is that lighter grey colour, that sort of metallic grey colouring going on. And I think at first viewing, this is such an impressive figure. It really is. It's a real showstopper, this one, when you first see it, and it's a real eye catcher in the collection. Everybody comments on. The suit itself is absolutely phenomenally well done. Those boots are screen accurate, really nicely done. No split cut boot design here, so not an awful lot of movement, but the design is absolutely nailed on. And the suit itself just looks phenomenally screen accurate and beautiful to look at. The attention to detail is absolutely nailed on. All the accessories are there, but there is a huge caveat that comes with this particular figure, and that is down to this suit itself. It's the material that Hot Toys have used here. How can I describe it? It's sort of like a rubber. Well, it probably is a rubber, to be honest with you. And as we all know, rubber perishes. Rubber can sweat oil, become sticky, it can crack, and essentially what you're left with here is more of a mini statue than a figure. For me personally, I'm scared to pose this because I'm afraid that this beautiful suit's going to crack, and that sort of let's say defeats the object of an action figure. If you've just got to keep it in a vanilla pose all the time, you might as well get a statue. But you know, it is what it is. I think considering those setbacks and drawbacks, I think this is a phenomenal piece to look at. That sculpting in the suit is superb. Multiple hands to go at here, as with all Batman figures, but once again it comes replete with multiple accessories. You can have a field day with the accessories, but it's, you know, posing the figure using them is a different kettle of fish. And I suppose if I had one other complaint about this piece, it's got to be that cape. Come on, Hot Toys, how many years have you been making Batman figures and you still can't get a cape right? This is not the best cape in the world, although it's better than some that they've produced. At least it's sort of it's got texture and it's got some substance to it. I do like that pattern they've gone for there, that slightly weathered pattern on here. Could do with wiring. Yeah, it's better than a lot of their attempts, but still not what we'd come to expect. But on to the head sculpt itself, the shine on this thing as well is great. The way the light plays off this figure just begs to be photographed. And that head sculpt, unmistakably the late Val Kilmer, absolutely nailed on. Skin tones and texturing, sculpting in that mouth area, which is really distinctive of Val Kilmer himself. Super glassy eyes. That cowl is beautifully done. We'll just spin him round so you can get a look at the sides here. those vents on the sides of the cowl and those dips, those super tall ears, just all nailed on. And you can see this the cape from the back here and that texturing that they've got in there. Overall, I think it's a stunning piece, a fitting tribute to the late Mr. Kilmer, and a cracking piece of work from Hot Toys here. And pretty much all the figures you're going to be seeing today are Hot Toys, bar one, I think. But yeah, still though suffers with that issue that is it really a posable action figure, or is it just a mini statue? I'll let you decide that one. Moving swiftly on. Fast forward to 2008 and Chris Nolan's second Batman offering, The Dark Knight, and Hot Toys DX19. Let's have a close-up look at it. Is it the ultimate from the Nolan verse? We'll start with that base. Yet again, another repurposing of that base from Hot Toys. At least this time they've seen fit to stick these steps on top with the broken in bat symbol there and some snow on there. So yeah, at least they've added a little something here and given us a semi-diorama. So yeah, nice base there, if still belying its origins, but moving up to the suit itself now. The articulation here is exceptional compared to, say, something like the Sonar suit Batman Forever. What Hot Toys have done here is a cracking piece of work for articulation and posing. A lot of it's down to that sort of material undersuit that you've got going on there, which lends itself to posing. But yeah, the boots are superbly well done with that super shiny mesh section on the inside there. Each section of the suit itself is beautifully detailed and picked out. The undersuit, very, very well done, and I'm not sure how they've attached these sections, and it's fair to note at this point, all the figures that you're seeing here today have been reviewed at some point on the channel, bar one or two. So if you're wanting a more in-depth look at anything you see today, please check out the reviews. But yeah, the suit itself I think is phenomenal here. The screen accuracy is most certainly on point. That utility belt, really, really nicely done in that sort of copper stroke brass effect, and it sits high as it should. Sometimes it needs a little bit of futzing down just to get it to the right position, but it's free floating. But overall, I think the level of detailing on this suit and that sort of impression of carbon fiber weave underneath the plastic there, and I believe that's down to the actual paint applications and also the way this has been constructed. It just looks great. The light plays off that beautifully, and you can see that mesh of the cameras picking it underneath, up underneath. The arms themselves, really, really well done. Super sharp pointy bits on the gauntlets, so watch out for those if you're picking this figure up. But multiple swap out hands, as with all the figures, and a huge range of accessories as well. Everything from the EMP gun to batarangs, the grapple gun, and all the stuff that you come to expect. Proportions nailed on. Elephant in the room yet again, and it's the cape. Yeah, here we go again. Come on, Hot Toys, get a grip. How many times do you need to practice this? As you can see with the light showing through, it's super thin. It's the material that lets this down. The lack of wiring and the material. The proportions are right, and the way the cut sections are quite shallow in this cape. They're right. The accuracy's right. The size is right, with it falling slightly lower than a lot of Batman figures, with it almost dragging on the ground. That's correct as well. But what lets this one down is the material and lack of wiring. We needed a wired cape here, and once again, yet another project that Mr. Go Figure has yet to get round to. I really do need to address my cape issues. But yeah, bar that cape, I think what we've got here is an absolutely phenomenal piece of work from Hot Toys. The head sculpt now, it's a magnetic head, this one, so that really, really does make life so much easier. You've got swap out mouth plates with the now infamous duck face, which never gets used, obviously, but overall I think they've done a cracking job with that head sculpt. Those interchangeable mouth plates quite clearly are Christian Bale. Paint applications are up to Hot Toys' usual high standards. Eyes super glassy, absolutely on point with those dark areas around them. The proportions of the cowl are really, really well done. There was a lot of argument, shall we say, and customization going on with the Batman Begins figures about the size of the neck and the proportions of the body, but here I think they pretty much got it. From the back there it can look a little bit giraffe-like, but if you futz around with that head, you know, that will get rid of a lot of that. The cape at the back really doesn't do it any favors particularly. I mean, it doesn't look cheap, but it just doesn't stand up to too much close scrutiny, shall we say. But overall, I think what Hot Toys have given us here is a phenomenal piece of work, bar its minor niggles, and I think it's a probably, in my opinion anyway, one of Hot Toys' best attempts at a Batman from the Nolan-verse that there has ever been. It's that good. I even got the quarter scale version. So there you have it, folks. That's Christian Bale. So fast forward to 2013 and the release of Batman Arkham Origins, the video game, and the only video game entry Batman in this roundup. And I've got to say, I do love this figure, but we'll get to why I love this figure shortly. Let's have a look around it, and a beast of a figure it is too. It is absolutely huge. We will start with this base. Wonderful diorama base here. No repurposed bases here, specifically built for this figure. Very nice it is too. If you played the game, you'll recognize it. That wonderfully weathered grill sort of effect base there, with the banister going on, with the resin sort of acrylic style resin ice formations and icicles going on there, and this huge lump of ice on the side here. Fantastic base. And then you get to this figure, and what a monster, what an absolute monster. Game accurate, screen accurate, 100% here, and it's just this suit that really appealed to me. I had played the game, I loved the game, and I thought this suit was just so impressive. It was so different, so original, and I think what Hot Toys have given us here is something quite phenomenal. I don't think it took off that much on its release, this figure, but you know, for me personally, I think the construction here is some of the best that we've seen from Hot Toys. The exosuit itself is wonderfully weathered, as you can see there on those shin guards. They're cracked. There's weathered paint applications going on there. Underneath the suit, you can see that sort of thermal wiring going on. These plastic sections on the thigh areas, they're cut and ripped, and the paint applications match that level of weathering and wear. Utility belt, really, really nicely done. Those plastic sections meant to look like padding, but they're actually sculpted plastic. They're not. There's no material going on in there, but the paint applications are that good. You will be forgiven for thinking that this thing is actually material underneath. And just overall, the level of construction and engineering on this piece, I think, is phenomenal. It makes for such an imposing figure. I'll just give you an idea of what's going on these arms here. I mean, that just in and of itself is something quite fantastic, with the mechanical sections on those shoulders there. And the level of detailing and paint applications, it's just a stunning piece of work, and it comes complete with all the usual accessories you'd expect with a Batman figure. We've got him clutching the grapple gun here, but yeah, just overall some fantastic work, in my opinion, from Hot Toys here. And that head sculpt. That head sculpt is just there, 100%. Yeah, it's the game all over. The shades, the tones of paint application, the paint application on that grille at the front to give it that metallic effect. Just everything absolutely nailed on here. Love that super high gloss bat symbol on his chest there. Probably the only niggle, I suspect you know where this is going. Let's swing him round and take a look round the back. It's this cape. Yeah, once again, this cape does let it down a little bit. It's not as bad as, say, the 89 Batman one, although it does feel very, very similar in materials and the way it's being done. I think what lets it down here is, once again, is that although the wires are slightly thicker in this one, they still don't support the weight of the cape, because it is, we'll take a quick look underneath here, it is lined, this cape, so it would need thicker wires to give it the kind of support it needs to get it flowing off and create those dynamic looks. So yeah, bar the cape, what we're looking at here, and I just love the blades on those gauntlets and the details on those gauntlets here, what we're looking at here, I think, is an absolutely amazingly well put together, well engineered and screen accurate piece, just let down a little bit once again by that old story from Hot Toys, the dodgy cape. But yeah, there you have it, folks. That is Batman Arkham Origins XE suit version. Moving on. So, arriving in 2017 in slow motion with lens flare, it's Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the 2.0 version of the tactical suit Batman from that particular film. Now, regulars to the channel will know my feelings on Zack Snyder. However, my feelings for Batman are stronger, so hence why I've got him in the collection. And I do like this figure. I think it's a cracking figure. We'll start at the bottom, work our way up. Fantastic diorama base there, absolutely wonderful. However, it has its issues, and those issues are mainly in its design. It's not in the paint applications or the sculpt. It pretty much forces you to have the Batman in this particular pose and nothing else. So if you're wanting to go for another pose, you need another base. But yeah, it is beautifully detailed and well painted, and overall a thing of beauty, but totally impractical. But moving up, the suit itself now. When I reviewed this figure on the channel, yes, some licenses have been taken in the colours here, and you know, we could argue the toss on, you know, whether these greys are too grey, whether it was darker in the film. That argument could run for a long time, so I'm not going to get involved in that. I just really like the figure. I think the proportions are nailed on. It is most certainly Ben Affleck. I think the screen accuracy in the suit design is great. The articulation is surprisingly good for a figure this chunky. What you've got, split cut boot design going on there. The armor is beautifully weathered and beautifully sculpted to give it that texture and that carbon fiber-esque feel. The weathering is really nice. All the strap work and the sections of the armor are well engineered and well put together. The utility belt, great. Colors are absolutely on point. Moving up to that chest section, got him clutching the gun here, so you can't see it that well. Let's spin him round so we can take a look from this angle, so you can see that detailing in the abdomen section and the chest section there. Really nice. The texturing on that cowl is really good. I do like it. You've even got some weathering there. It is a little bit lighter, I think, than it was in the film, but then again, the colours change so often in Zack Snyder films, it's difficult to get an accurate palette, really. But overall, I think the design of the suit and the execution here is phenomenal from Hot Toys. Loving the detailing, loving the subtle weathering going on here, the cracks and the scrapes on the armour itself and on the suit. Really well done. That head sculpt, once again, you get multiple swap out mouth plates with this figure. Unmistakably Ben Affleck there. I've gone for the gritted teeth look here because he's toting the gun, but there's a neutral one. I believe there's a duck face one as well. What is it with duck face? Who knows? Should get his own movie. Yeah, paint applications on point, 5 o'clock shadows there. The eyes are very well done, really super glassy, and unmistakably Ben Affleck there as Batman. You can have goggles up, goggles down. There's loads of accessories to choose from here, not just this gun. It comes with the usual batarangs and grapple guns and everything else that you'd expect. So overall, yeah, I think a stunning piece here from Hot Toys. And absolutely nailed on. Even that weapon, I think the paint applications in there are great. The cape, oh god, here we go again, the cape. Now this is not as bad as some of Hot Toys capes. The material, once again, does feel a little bit on the cheap side. It feels like a thin man-made fibre, and once again, if you hold it up to the light does shine through it, although it is doubled up here on the seam line. It's got this sort of weathering effect on here, which is nice to see. It's sort of like splatters and darker areas. But overall, I think from a personal perspective, I think Hot Toys should include 2 capes with all their Batman figures. In fact, pretty much all their cape figures for that matter. I think we should get a wired cape and we should get a draped cape with pretty much every figure. This really, although slightly better than a lot of their capes, is still not up to the standards that we'd expect, really. But yeah, around the back of that cowl, detailing is really, really nice as well. So overall, I think this is a fantastic piece. I really do like it. I'm not a huge fan of Mr. Schneider's take on Batman, or rather his films in general, but I thought Mr. Affleck made a fantastic Batman, and I think this is a fantastic figure. So on to the last. So arriving in 2022 with a bang, it's our final figure of the evening. Yes, it's Mr. Robert Pattinson as Batman in the Matt Reeves directed The Batman movie. And where to begin with this one? Highly anticipated, this figure. Did it live up to the hype? Well, yes, it did for me. Not without a few caveats, though. We'll start with that base. I do like the design of this base, obviously meant to replicate the bat signal. Very, very nicely done. However, it's the in-art magnet issue. If you like your figures on your 6-scale figures on their back, then you're going to love in-art bases. They do have a tendency not to have the best magnet solution in the world. But we're not here to look at the base. We're here to look at the figure. And I've got to say, from the get-go here, this is a phenomenal piece of work from in-art. I think this was actually my first toe dip into the in-art pool. And it is a stunning piece of work. Everything from the sculpt, the paint applications, the screen accuracy, the weathering here is phenomenal. This suit is just so well done. The colour is absolutely on point, with the mixtures of greys going on in there, that fantastically detailed utility belt with all the accessories that you come to expect with a Batman figure. The material underneath the sections of the suit is really flexible, so posing is not an issue here. And it's just that attention to detail, I think, which separates this figure out. Proportions are nailed on, scale is 100% screen accurate. The level of weathering, as you can see here on the shoulder pad areas, just right, just enough dinks and scratches and scuffs, but not too much. The gauntlets, beautifully made. And it's just everywhere you look on this figure, there is just such a fine attention to detail. That bat symbol in the chest there, the removable bat symbol made out of metal, and the weathering on there, really, really excellent. If I had any complaints, and you probably know where this is going, it's onto the cape. What is it with 6-scale figure manufacturers and capes? This is better than most, I will give it that. However, it's not perfect by a long stretch of the imagination. The wires in this cape are a lot sturdier than we see in, say, Hot Toys, and the fact that it's not only wired down this section, down the length of the cape, but at the base of the cape as well, means you can get some dynamic posing out of it. I like the weathering on the bottom here, which is repeated on the shoulder and neck area there. I think the materials are okay, but this is and it is lime, but the external material here is a little too shiny and a little too thin for my taste, and it can still be a complete ball ache to get this to actually sort of rest in a position that looks convincing and gives it that dynamic look. So yeah, unfortunately the cape is not quite of the same high standards as the rest of the figure, which is unfortunate really, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at that head sculpt. What can I say about this head sculpt? Absolutely superb. Swap out mouth plates, really, really well done. The paint applications, the sculpt, unmistakably Robert Pattinson. That cowl is phenomenal, the sculpt work in that cowl. The stitch work, the weathering, those little dinks and scratches on there, but not too many. Proportions, absolutely on point with the size of those ears. Around the back, it's the same story. It's just a lovely, lovely job that they've done here in art. And as I say, it's the attention to detail. that really sets them apart. Yet again, another magnetically attached head sculpt, so you're going to have no issues here with that cowl rubbing if it moves the whole cowl against the cape, and it gives you just such a huge variety of choices when you're posing this figure. Swap out mouth plates so you can go for the expressions that you want, and as I say, accessories are what you come to expect with a Batman figure, just done really well. So yeah, there you have it, folks. That's the final figure of the evening, and that's InArt's The Batman. So what are your thoughts on Batman? What are your thoughts on InArt and Hot Toys and capes and Batman movies and anything at all? Nothing is off menu, so please drop a comment in the comment section below. I'd be fascinated to hear your take on any of the figures that we've had a look at in this video. What's coming up on the channel? Well, we have new reviews galore. We've got retro reviews, we've got more episodes of Grail or Fail, more episodes of Don't Make Me Choose. We've got new figures from Hot Toys, from InArt, Pure Art, Susu Toys, Present Toys, Exo 6, Caustic Plastic. The list is endless, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the good stuff coming up. And I suppose all that remains for me to say, a massive thank you for watching, and from myself and from all the Batmans, take care of yourselves and happy collecting.